good gold. Here we go. Right on that picnic table? Gold. Hello, how are you? Benzo here in the Bonanza Shack, chilling out on this Sunday afternoon. We had a deluge yesterday, so we're just chilling out today. So we got some people coming in. Awesome, great to see you. Joey Brown, Wrenches Repair, JP Longs, David Alfonsetti Art, Grasshopper Cruise. Hey, we need to figure out when the first game is this year and go. That's for sure. Mr. Lodak, what's going on up there? How y'all doing today? So I hope y'all are some rock hounds, because I was here. I want to try to talk about some rocks today. And there's one that's kind of skipped over a little bit, Aragonite. So we're going to talk about that. And I do have a follow-up on last rock show mail call, where I opened up this awesome box from Carson, and some of that stuff has been treated and it's cleaned up a little bit, and some of it looks a little different. Some of it has already been started. Thomas, Scott Sharp. All right, we love the rocks. So, Aragonite, what is it? Let's get into it. Chemically, it's calcite, calcium carbonate, CaCO3, and all the trace minerals throughout it. You know, they give different colors and structures, and it forms all over the world in lots of different places, and it's everywhere. It's kind of like the quartz of the sea. You know, it's just everywhere, and it's it can form through like limestone, biologic, aquatic precipitation, or marine snow kind of deal. Way it falls down. Kevin Rose, Carson, evening. Oh, I got something. I hope you stick around. I got something to show. I got the first cut. It went through pretty good too. So I was pretty disappointed in myself. I was like, oh my Lord. I decided I was going to do a show about aragonite, and like the most common form of aragonite out there, I can't find it in my my collection. And I'm like, well, what is going on with that? And it is the orange cluster. And most of y'all probably have. If y'all have a small rock collection, y'all probably have an orange cluster. I've probably given them away. I've had trays of them in the past. I ain't lying. Just whole trays of them. I do still have some things to show. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right here. This one, and there we go. Enter to win. Nope. Okay. This is it was just a good picture, so I brought that up. It's that is the most common form that you see in gem pay dirt bags and stuff like that. But it's a pretty neat crystal. So let's just get into it a little bit more in depth, and then we're going to start looking at some cool stuff. But let's learn a little bit more about that. Let's take a look at Wiki. Let's see what they say about it. You know, it's a carbonate million, one of the three most common. And you got the calcite. And they show all the different forms of calcite there, and that's pretty cool. And vaterite, and it's a polymorph of calcium carbonate. And I don't have any of that. It'd be cool to have one of those little crystals, but the picture's making me think that's just like a piece of sand, and they're just blowing it up. But so when you talk about this aragonite, it's different. It stands apart from calcite differently because the way it lays down and the way it forms and its texture and its color. So it does stand out, even though it's chemically the same pretty much. I did not get any acid to show you the reaction today. I would even knock a little chip off of this gnarly monker and throw it in there for science, but I don't have anything that will blow this up in any cool, quick way. I mean, I could stick it some in some vinegar and get some bubble reaction, but I guess I could run down to Dollar General and get some of that toilet bowl cleaner. Okay, and the crystal lattice of aragonite differs from calcite, resulting in different crystal shape orthorhombic crystal with the acular crystal. Acular means like that, like long. Repeated twinning, the repeated twinning results in a pseudo-hexagonal forms. Aragonite can may be columnar, fibrous, occasionally Branson, and helatitic is a phosphary, flowers of iron. And they got a picture on that? No. In association with the ores of Corinthian iron mines. The Duchy of Carinthia was a duchy located in southern Austria with parts of northern Slovenia. And it was okay. That's history there. A type of, there we go. But when you really start looking at all the varieties, but commonly red or white. So it does form in pure crystals. See, that's like a pseudo hexagon, but it does have these other crystals. The best ones are the blue. I think they're the most sought after, the pure blue, which I don't have any. They're hard to find. So it says it's commonly dendritic. Look at that. So that looks like the manganese that you pop out of some of that Cali green rock. Right there, that's the dendritic form, that ferny, flowery form that we talk about. There we go. It also be acular, tubular, prismatic, or coral-like. Now that is a wide range right there. Pseudo-hexagonal aggregates. So the pseudo-hexagonal aggregates. I know that's a funny word, not really. But what they're really saying when they say that is like this. This is an aggregate. This is all those pseudo hexagonals all aggregate together to form one. And they're pretty wild. I like them. This is the clear to bluish color one. Most of that you find out there are the orange to pinkish red. It's pretty cool. Lester, good evening. Good to see you. I had to jump back over. Rocky Mountain, what's going on, man? You got your had some problems with your microphone lady. Who figured that out? It was rough. And there's a lot of there are some ultraviolet versions of this. I haven't checked all my specimens. It's kind of dark in here. I could do it now. But there's even a mass version, but there's so many different. See, that's an amylite. It can be iridescent. So it just keeps going on and on. But there's so many versions of this. Yeah, talking about free crystals. Yeah, free crystals. Aragonite can be synthesized by adding calcium chloride to a sodium carbonate solution at above 140 and water exothermal mixtures at ambient temperatures. Okay. Well, that's pretty easy to do. That's cool. Huh. Well, if you know anything about chemistry, there's a fun project. That's cool. So we have a gallery of photos down here. All right. There's a really spiky looking cluster. That's pretty cool. Remnant biogenic. That's the scanning electron microscope look at it there. And then there's a example of what a fluorescence would look like. Huh. So there's different ways this is created in nature. It's a lot of very common elements that come together. But in certain ways it's laid down, you'll get a different thing. You'll get, if it's laid down, it could turn into calcite if it's laid a certain way. If it could turn into aragonite if it's laid down another way. I say laid down, it's like how it's precipitated, what other natural occurrences affect it, pressure, time, purity, trace other things involved with it. No, it's just showing pure calcium, carbonate minerals. I got a cluster of crystals like that. I need to show y'all. I need to do a calcite show and show you all the crazy calcite I got, because I got a little bit of collection of calcite too. So there we go. That was cool. So we learned that it was boom. There we go. We get something else up there. David Canham, good afternoon. So right up here is a little piece of aragonite, and I'll show you this one here. I got my camera set up. Does this work? I need light. This piece here. This is the coral looking pieces that they were talking about. How it looks like coral the way it lays down. It's pretty fragile. Parts will fall off of it, but it's definitely more sparkly in some areas, very crystally compared to other versions. There's versions of this that don't have crystals, just white, and there's not a clear crystal, and this is just covered with crystals. You can see them refracting. This is a special piece right here. It's pretty large, a couple pounds. See the base. It's got a cavern there. It's pretty special. And on the microscope there, you can see I got it backlit. There's another piece. So you can see the different crystal structures they can form there. So many different, some are opaque, some are clear. It's got as many varieties as quartz almost, but it's so widespread, almost like quartz is widespread. So it's one of the more common things in the world that's everywhere that you just don't hear too much about. Just like feldspar, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So we'll bring me back over. Yeah, it's a little delay there. We'll pop this up. So this right here, we'll take a look at some other things in this machine. And I'll probably have to back it up and move all this out. There are some hard forms of aragonite, like some crystals and some other things that you can work on, but usually, is that light not working? Oh, let's cut it down. Okay. So this is a really interesting piece. It's the coral-like form, but it's also the more orangey yellow. It's really kind of dirty looking, but I probably should have brushed it off better or washed it before I try to put it under the microscope. It might be too dirty. But under the microscope, see if we can find some neat places. There's a lot of different crystal structures going on here. Let's not make that big. Yeah, you have cubic to botryoidal. Only Pans, good evening. We're looking at some rocks. It's all about the aragonite tonight. I know everybody's watching football, but it's all right. I've seen football before. They'll tell me what happened. Oh, get it in focus. It's a little tender sometimes. So, yep. That piece don't look so spectacular under the microscope, I'll say it. You do have some neat little crystal structures here and there. I was hoping it would look a little bit. Oh, there's some more neat micro crystal formations going on in there. There we go. I was on the wrong side. I'm just trying to let it roll over. I must be at a bad distance. Sometimes certain distance you're out of the microscope, you just need to go a centimeter up or centimeter, just a little, so you can get the focal point to hit just right. Yeah, I hope you're having an excellent Sunday too. Buddy Biggs, good evening. Jason and the Aragonites, that's right. 49 gold coin. Wow. So here we go. We got a smaller piece. This is quite large, really. This is in hand. So we got this. Is that a hole straight through? No. But it's really a lot of holes, very corally. It does have some neat crystals going on there with it. Nothing like this piece behind me. Let's take a look at that aggregate. See what that looks like. I don't know, get us a focal later. You can see off to the side there. See if we can get it straight down on some of those crystals. Pseudo hexagon. And they're growing out. And these are kind of the bluish, clear ones. Pretty neat stuff. I like it. The way that forms, the little orbs. I always liked the orbs, little orb stones. I have a small collection of those, I guess, and spheres and things like that. Now the bottom side is definitely got a calcite plate, but I think it's crusted with aragonite. I could be wrong. It might just be all calcite. You can see the calcite plate on the bottom, right? Yeah, 100%. But it's got like a stalactite aragonite looking crust to it to me. That's what I'd bet on. It's just something that was in my class. Like I've always thought that was a Bart wants to be on YouTube. So I always thought that had an aragonite crust to it because of the color, and they're chemically the same thing, but it kind of looks better in person. Looks more bumpy, I guess. It's kind of flattening it out a little bit. But yeah, pretty neat little piece. Now, the other form of aragonite we were talking about, let's split this down, is mass. It comes in mass form. And you can look it up. You can ask Google, and they'll show you something just like this. It's called banded aragonite. And I got a sphere of banded. It looks like wood. When I first saw it, I was like, what is that? I didn't know about banded aragonite. But they make pretty neat spheres and other carved things out of this material. Unworked and unpolished, it doesn't really look like much anything at all. But yeah, banded aragonite. It's more of a solid mass. So the many faces of aragonite. Now, here's the real test. Can we get those nice crystals under the microscope? You can see I've got a little pile. You can't see a little pile back there, but there's a little pile back there. Let's see which side. See if we can get these. See, in the top crust, they're kind of like snow a little bit. The top, it's a little snowy. It looks like popcorn, really. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Looks like the top of a tub of popcorn. Yeah, exactly what it looks like. And then it's the sides and the channeling, and it's all that is this wow crystal formation. And this is some pretty good grade aragonite crystal right here. But I don't have any of that blue solid mass crystals, and There are even some rarer forms out there. And yeah, it's hard to. I ain't got much space over here to try to get the crystals on there. Yeah, they're really not showing too great. Or there's just the clear stuff just too clear. Just don't show too much. Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the coolest spots on it. We'll go see what happens when we do this real quick. The popcorn looking top. Yeah. Lots of little crystals. Okay. Well, that piece wasn't so impressive under the microscope. In person, though, it's really cool. It's got some really cool stuff there. Neat piece. I'll set it back over here gently. Put the orange one with it. I don't know. It's just a really neat looking piece. I always thought it was kind of cool because you always just see the spheres, and then when you find stuff of a different origin, it's got some nice sparkle to it. It ain't coming through on the camera, but yeah, the many faces of Aragonite, cool stuff. So last week's mail call, that was a lot of fun. Hope you learned something. Tim Man, magnet fishing, just be cool. What's happening? Doing good. So I had some awesome stones I received, and I worked on some, and I'll show you this real quick. Have I got enough light? I think there's a light on it. I got it set up. Boom, and it's this one. Bam. Yeah. Look at that banding. That's the cut. That's the first cut taken off that. And look at that banding and the coloring. That's going to be pretty cool. And you can see that the red streaks through and the white streaks through. So there's going to be some pretty consistent cuts through that. So that's fun. All right, bring me back. Now let's set this up. So of the what we had treated, that was one of the I cleaned this up. Didn't change it much, but it's ready to go. It's another big agate. Now this is like a thunder egg of sorts. Now the outside of this, it did clean up quite a bit, but yeah, not much changed, truthfully. Then there was some stones that didn't seem to. You would think that was going to have a big reaction. No, they didn't really clean up. They got a little cleaner. Some of them knocked some crust off. This is ready to cut. This stone here, similar to the one before, or two before, didn't really react much, surprisingly, considering how heavy it was. But this, I don't know what that is. This one here, super reaction, and it's continued to react, and even more reaction. So it's revealing some stuff in there. I could just throw it to this and see what all comes off of it and see what's inside of it, but maybe not. Yeah, I just got redded on right there. It's falling apart. There's an iron crust that really ate it up. But then the mussels, the fossilized mussels, got a little cleaner. Trying to come up with other ways to work on these. This is so cool. fossilized mussel shells. It's pretty neat. I got a decent collection of fossil-y stuff. Some of it I got a couple bags of it back there, stuff I picked out of rivers when I went to Ohio and Indiana and stuff. Yeah, some of it was pretty neat. I got pretty lucky. I was finding some decent stuff. So a lot of this stuff is due to be cut or experimented on. So that's a lot of fun playing with that. And this piece, just gotta make sure I do it justice, suppose. It's a little special. It's super Jimmy. Now the other one, it's nice, and it's got that awesome banding running through it. But this one's Jimmy. That's the difference, Jimmy. Where's that little light? I don't know if that was strong enough. No, that's not strong enough. Oh. Yeah, I'll show you how Jimmy it is. Yeah. I mean, there's so much light going into the stone that it's bleaching it out. So that's how you can tell. I mean, especially that end right there. Ooh, it's not really. You can just tell how bright it's getting. You know, that's how much light's going into the rock. So wicked cool. Can't wait to get in that one. But this one right here. Come on, turn on. How many buttons you need? Boom, that one. Red, white, red, white, red. And you can see right there is it's going to get a big, thick band of red. But see a few cuts in, you look at that thick band on the left, that it's going to turn back. It's going to split up and be a white band. You can see it milky right there. It's going to come in there, a white band. So it's going to go red, white again. So that top, yeah, it's getting wider. It's going to be white up there. So there's going to be like 2 or 3 big cuts right in the middle of that. It's going to be pretty awesome. It looks like I'm excited about that. So I gotta put something under the microscope so I don't look stupid. Put the machine back under the microscope. Hello. I wish they wouldn't put the little button for the lights all the way in the back. You can't reach it. That's funny. Ooh, look at Come Alive. Back it up so you can see more of it. It's just a piece of labradorite for funsies. There's something up there that looks good, right? So yeah, I'll be working on more cuts and this round of polishing. I got a lot of dop sticks, so I fire it up every now and then, and I do 1 or 2 of them, and it takes more time on the preliminary wheels, with your shaping wheels, than your polishing wheels. You know, each wheel you go through, it seems like it takes less time until you get to the very last one, and you take a little bit more time on that one, it seems, or next to last than last. So yeah. Oh, looks pink to me. Yeah, we'll get some pink. Got some pink stuff. A lot of pink rocks out there. I got some pieces cut too. Some of that. When I bought it, it was called Mexican opal, but then later I saw it's called Peruvian pink opal. Or maybe it just sounded good. Peruvian pink, but they have these slabs of pink opal. I should have bought more of those slabs. Holy smokes! I only picked one up because I was like, whatever, and it was just a few bucks, and I could have got them for just a few bucks a piece. And now those slabs would be like $30, $50 slabs. It's like, what? How does a grinder polish? What are you talking about? Grinder. with the grit. Well, you just keep lessening the grit, and then eventually you get to this felt pad with this oxide on it, and it's like 12,000 grit. And yeah, pretty easy. It's a feldspar. Yeah, pretty easy. Not the hardest thing in the world, that's for sure. I mean, there's harder. There's definitely harder stuff to cut. And there's definitely easier stuff to cut, but it's not too hard at all. Pretty easy. PA, good evening. Good evening. Dan B, he's in here tonight. What's going on? Jason E. Minor. What's up? So that's my 30-minute show, guys. We're just coming here to talk about aragonites and take a look at these rocks, see what's going on. I'm going to get some more work done in here this evening, get some more things done, and do a little dinner. Maybe you got a little dinner. And everybody's watching the football. Enjoy your football. I'll go in and get an update, then I'll know as much as I need to. Ooh, I wonder if this would do a thing. Ooh, it's going to do a thing. Look at that. That's a star ruby. See the star in there. Come around. Hit the light just right. Ooh. Haha. Ooh, how bright will it get? That's pretty cool. WK, good evening. Heck yeah. Good to see everybody. So, yeah, it's a 30-minute show. Just a little rock show every now and then. Glad everybody shows up, hangs out. We'll talk about it. Next time, maybe we talked about doing that calcite show. So I'll have way more rocks to show, and I'll have to coordinate that with the special guest that knows something about calcite along the way. Maybe a professional calcite miner in the house, and we'll get into it because there's a whole lot of calcite out there. So I'm going to hang out in here in the shop for a few minutes. So if anyone wants to pop in and say hey, I'll post a link, and then we'll shut her down. Y'all can come in and say hey for a minute. And here it is. Glad you popped in too, Joey. All right. Y'all have a great week. I'll try to make some videos. I hope y'all try to watch them. So till next time, get in the creek and get that gold. We'll see you soon. Where's it at?